Hey guys, welcome back to Day in the Life. This is with a bonus. This is with the first episode of the second series of the old school nostalgia puddings. So this is, for anyone that's not in the UK, this is the second series of puddings that we, as people in the UK, used to eat when we was at school. What we was provided with our school dinners. So we'll see if today's brings back any memories for anybody. So we'll start with, the first thing I did on this day was I did some cinnamon raisin bread. I've already got this recipe, so I will link it under the video. I did ask people whether they wanted the Day in the Life or the casserole or Day in the Life with the casserole or the nostalgia series. And you know what, it was like half and half, so I thought I'll stick it in with this. So you will get 5 weeks where you will get the Day in the Life, which will contain a different pudding from school history in the UK, I suppose. I've already done one series. I can give you the link if you want it. Some people have already asked for it. So if you didn't catch the first series, then I can give you that. So this is not the cinnamon swirl bread. That's done really well on this channel. I've got the recipe for that as well in the video if you would like that. This is just cinnamon raisin bread. So it doesn't have that swirl in the middle. So I'm just popping in all the ingredients. There's raisins, there's cinnamon, mixed spice, yeast, salt, honey, milk, brown sugar, butter, see, I've got my old book in front of me, look, just to make sure I get the recipe right. I've actually got I'm on my 4th book, I think. So hopefully the girls will enjoy that when they're older. They can split the books between them or just take or leave whatever they want. They might not want any of them, so. But the recipes I tend to use often, I write in a book. And I'm on the 4th. But yeah, they may not be so keen on cooking when they're older. So I always put it on a dough cycle. I never ever cook my bread in here. Ever. I think it's dense. I don't like the way that they do it. That the machine does it. Just add the liquids in. So I'll pop it on a dough cycle. And I let it go for a couple of minutes. I don't know about everybody's. I mean, a newer version might be better. But I always find that there's dry flour in the corners. So I just like scrape it down and then start the dough cycle again. So that's it after it's had its rise. I just leave it to prove in the bread machine. It's coming. Some days it just plops out and other days you're like waiting for it. I can feel it in the tin, it's moving down. I've sprayed bread tins. There we go. Just a little bit stuck to the side of the tin. So if I was making this swirl bread, I would roll this out and add the butter and brown sugar and roll it up. But that's not what I'm making. It's about the only difference really, to be perfectly honest. I do prefer the other one, but this one's easier to cut and toast in the toaster. So I'm just rolling the bread. And then I'm going to cut it. So this made 2 loaves. Drop. And I'm just going to let this rise again. And then I bake it for 30 minutes at gas mark 4.5. And it's done. So cover it up with a clean towel, leave it 20-30 minutes so it doubles, and there is your cinnamon raisin bread. Absolutely beautiful, toasted and buttered. We love it in this house. It's expensive to buy now. This is the beef and onion casserole. So that's 500 grams that I've chopped up there. I'm just going to cook it on all sides. I will leave this under the video for you, should you wish it. This is one that was easy because I could just leave it to cook. So there, I've just sealed it. I don't do it with every casserole. And a heaping tablespoon of flour. That'll be your thickener. We enjoyed this, it was really nice. And it's not been too warm. Considering we're in June, it's not been too warm. So I'm still cooking these types of meals so far. One of the things I dislike about summer is I end up eating more rabbit food. I mean, not that it'd hurt me to eat it, but it's boring. Especially for someone like me who only eats lettuce, cucumber and red onion. Out of salad ingredients, that's it. So I've chucked in an onion, which I've just large diced. I'm still cooking off that flour. So there's some garlic powder. You can use fresh garlic. I always forget that I've got a bag of it in the freezer. Mixed herbs. This beef was really tender as well. When it was cooked, it was ever so nice. So I've got beef stock here. I think there was 800 mils in there. I'll double check it. Between 8 and 900 mils. So now, on the bottom where the flour and the beef caught on the bottom of the pan, all I'm doing is just going around it now and pulling up them bits, because that is flavour. So make sure you get them all up. I like a casserole that don't take a lot of messing about. So there is, what is it? Oh, mushrooms, carrots and white cabbage. So I'm not going to add any more liquid because you're going to get liquid out of the vegetables. Some pepper in. So I'm just doing some Hasselback potatoes. So I've used smaller potatoes. And you just cut slits 3/4 of the way down. Like that. And just do that for all your potatoes. I take a bit off the bottom so that it stands still. Avoid the risk of chopping yourself, because I have chopped myself many times. So just remember 3/4 of the way down. So for these, I use some oil, some salt and pepper, garlic powder. I would use garlic powder because if you use fresh garlic it's going to burn. And parsley mixed in a bowl, and I just use a silicone brush. See, slipped. Silicone brush and just brush it all over them. So that's had an hour on the stove top on the lowest simmer setting that you've got. I've stirred it about every 20 minutes. And now it's going to go into the oven. And that's the potatoes. And it's been in the oven on gas mark 3, and I've just left it alone. I'm going to give it a stir. Just checking the meat's cooked all the way through. I think I had a little bit of liquid in here because I want more gravy. Because we do have, when we have anything with gravy, we have crusty bread to dip in. Yeah, there we go. So I added some more water in because it was going back into the oven. And it's still lovely and thick. You can see you added in them vegetables, but they do cook down. So back into the oven. Now all I'm going to do is I've sorted out my tender stem. And I'm piling it all in one place because then it'll take, it'll not cook it until it's cooked to death then. Because it's all piled on top of one another. So there it is once it's finished. You've got vegetables in your casserole, tender stem on the side, and those are the potatoes once they're finished. And that was a lovely tea. Plenty of vegetables, not expensive at all. I'd say it's one of the cheaper meals. See the bread there ready to go. We do love bread in this house. It's one of our main downfalls. So this is... Wait until you... I'm not going to tell you the name of it. Wait and see if you recognise what it is. It's very simple, it's really quick. There's no messing about really with this pudding. And I think they had to keep it like that in the old days, you know, when hundreds of kids were piling through the canteens. And they had to dish them up quick. They used to serve this with pink custard. And for anyone outside of the UK, yeah, pink custard. We had pink custard, chocolate custard. I can't remember, to be honest, if there was another colour. The chocolate one actually tasted the chocolate. The pink one was just food colouring. So you mix together your butter and your sugar, you add in your flour. And it was a tray baked pudding. And you can see the food colour in there that I'm going to use. Not in the cake, but on top. Has anyone twigged yet what it is? So I'm going to put 4 eggs into this. And that is the extent of how difficult this pudding is. Like I say, to feed so many kids back in the day, they would have had to make sure it was quick. This would have been done on a giant scale, I would imagine. You could probably get about 2, 4, 6, 8, maybe 8 to 10 squares out of this, the size that I'm making. So give it a bash. Anyone in my age group, so I'm what? I've just turned 45. So anyone that was in school late 80s and 90s, I left in what, 95? And I remember this. Serve it up to your other halves, see if they remember it. Steve remembered this one, but the other one I planned to do he didn't remember. But he's originally from a different part of the country to me, so... So I'm just using this tin, which is one of my favourite tins. I've got 3 of them. Got them on Amazon. Put a air fryer liner in there. Now that I figured that they fit perfectly, I'll be getting them more often. I never used them in my air fryer because they was the wrong shape. This goes into the oven. Make sure it's preheated gas 4. And it took 45 minutes in the centre of the oven in my oven. It may take less than yours. Check it at 35. It may take longer, depending on your oven, how old it is, whether it's fan assisted. I would suggest checking it at maybe 35 minutes, but it took 45 in mine. And there you go, good rise on that. It's filled the tub, tin, whatever. Now leave it to cool down completely, and you're going to need a lot of icing sugar. You must have twigged which one this is by now, surely. Why is it my icing sugar, even though it's in a clip lock container? Oh, it ends up like this, and it's hard to sift. It's a pain in the bum. Anyway, you want 500 grams and then 100 mils of water, and then some pink food gel colouring. Just a couple of drops. You want that big bright pink colour. Don't worry, I don't subject you to the entire sifting process. See? Finally got it done. Oh, make sure you weigh out that water, guys. It doesn't take much to go over on icing sugar, and then you need to put tons in to make it thick again. You want it thick, but runny enough to spread over the entire cake. You'll see in a minute. And this really was a cake that took, what, 10 minutes to make. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, that reminds me of school. The bright pink icing. Well, it's more pastel pink. I could have gone mad, but no. All you do, slap it on your cake. And I just caught it there, just in time. It decided it was going to try and climb over the side of my dish. You see, it evens itself out rather well. So I'm just going to go in with some drops of the food gel. Not trying to be perfect. My cake rose more in the middle, so there's a slight slope, and you can see it's spreading in the centre of it, but I don't care, to be perfectly honest. You must all recognise this pudding now. Especially the UK ones. And pop it in the fridge to set. And that's how it looked when it comes out. That was definitely made me grin anyway when I seen it. It's definitely a blast from the past. I have not seen that about that cake. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. If you are interested in the way I've done it this way for the next 4 weeks, please let me know down in the comments and what you thought about the old school nostalgic pudding. Don't forget to like, give it a thumbs up guys, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.